Yo, what's up, guys? Terrell here on Terrell Game Vlogs. I actually did a video before this one, but I had to do it again because, for one, new information was announced, and two, I re-listened to the voices a few times. And we're here to talk about the Medaka Box English dub, because that gets released next month. Well, it'll be this month in a few days, but that's besides the point. So, you know, they got the first season on Blu-ray, which comes out, I think, August 27th, I believe. Let me make sure. Yes, August 27th. And they actually have on the Anime Network channel, which may be a site none of you really know of, because personally, I don't really promote it that much, because personally, I don't really use it. But it's there. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is that on there, they usually put up like the first dubbed episode of new dubs for new shows coming out. And I think within the last few days, they put up the first dubbed episode of Medaka Box, and I watched that last night. And this video is, as you can see, first impressions. And they're kind of a mixed bag. Okay. And there's probably about 3 things hindering this thing off the bat. Yeah, about 3 things. First thing is the fact that it's a Sentai dub, which kind of is fucked up, because the thing is, people don't realize, I don't think anyone, see, this is what I don't understand. People put Sentai dubs at the same level as Funimation and Viz dubs. I gotta question where you're coming from, because most Sentai dubs, no offense, don't really hit that "oh my god, this is great" mark. They got a few good hits, but not anything. Sentai, the problem with Sentai is I have to worry about things I don't have to worry about Viz or Funimation. I usually don't worry about voice casting that much, because usually they are smart enough to pick the right voices. Granted, Sentai isn't too bad, but let's just say Medaka Box is one of those cases for one character in particular. And it's kind of a big issue. Sentai Filmworks do get good talent, like experienced voice actors, so it's never an issue there. But they do get these fucking it's like the quality of the dub, and then this ADR director shit, which is the second thing that irks me about this dub. The ADR director is Stephen Foster. Now, Stephen Foster is the dude who directed the Clannad dub, the After Story dub, the Angel Beats dub. He even did the Kids on the Slope dub. He has some good dubs under his belt, but Kids on the Slope is a good dub with showing off one of his weird ass quirks. Stephen Foster likes to do this whole giving voice actors freedom logic, where it's essentially, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to completely match the mouth flaps for him. Like, pretty much just have the person talk long enough during a talking scene for it to work. And Kids on the Slope and Medaka Box are both examples of those types of dubs. You know what the problem with that type of dub is? It doesn't feel synced. Remember when I was complaining about Kids on the Slope, saying, why does this anime feel desynced? That was why. Because Stephen Foster likes to give his voice actors freedom. So there are a lot of points where I'm watching an anime like Kids on the Slope, and I just see these scenes where the voice isn't matching the lips. And see, what pisses me off is like you need to understand something. The reason why this can work for anime, like you can match lip flaps for anime, but you can't match lip flaps for live action foreign films, is because animes don't even match the lip flaps of the Japanese completely. This gives dubbers something to work with, because they don't have to be exactly pinpoint. They just have to give the illusion that it fits. And Funimation and Viz do this all the goddamn time. It's the most consistent thing about them, and this is why I don't have to worry about fucking Viz or Funimation dubs in terms of just the dubbing being okay, at the very least okay. Sentai, it's shit like this in Kids on the Slope that makes me worry, because it's just like, why? It's like it's like this whole freedom shit. Listen, as I said, there's a difference between why we don't mind it for anime, but we could give a fuck less if you dub a live action Japanese or foreign film. Because you have the room to work with the mouth flaps in anime, but you don't have that option in live action. because you have to, in order to do it in live action, you would have to match facial expressions. Like, you would have to match them completely. And granted, I haven't listened to one of those live action Funimation dubbed foreign films, so I don't know. If any of you have, please let me know in the comments, but I don't see how that can work. It works better for anime than, so it's just like, to hear that he likes to do this shit, and he does it with Medaka box. You'll notice it in the Medaka box. But it's weird because he's inconsistent with it. Like, sometimes it'll sync perfectly, and then other times it's just like it's obvious they didn't even fucking bother. Which to me, when I hear about giving the voice actors freedom, it's like he's taking the quality of the script versus the quality of matching the voice to the lips. And I'm like, okay, fine, I understand you have to fucking ad-lib or change some shit around because it's Japanese to English, but for the love of God, at least get it to match. If Funimation and Viz can do it, and you can do it sometimes, because this Angel Beats dub didn't have this problem, Clannad didn't have this fucking problem, so why the fuck is it that fucking Kids on the Slope and Medaka Box is gonna have this problem? Just like, come on. And granted, it's not like it won't ruin it, but it is kind of a glaring issue. Because I'll put it this way, it's like, I didn't hate the Kids on the Slope dub, but it was obvious enough that it drew my attention to it, and that was me not knowing anything about the ADR director and how he does things. Okay, the third thing I have a problem with is the voice cast, and as I said, it's only one character I have a problem with, and I will say this, in terms of the characters we have, playing the characters, I can tell you now. The first episode only introduces Zenkichi, Shiranui, and or Shiranui, which that's I don't know. Like, the dub pronounces her name and it sounds so goddamn weird. But once again, that's a pronunciation thing. I may be able to put up with it. I gotta hear it more often. And so we got Shiranui, Medaka, and Zenkichi are introduced in the first episode. So we technically haven't heard Akune or Kikajima, and this is actually the reason why I'm redoing the video. They actually released the full English voice cast, at least for those 4 characters. Medaka is being played by Calene-Black, which I can honestly say, after hearing the first episode, I have no problem with her voice. The only thing you can argue that you could possibly have a problem with is the fact that she sounds a little bit too pretentious, but considering that was one of her main flaws as a character in the beginning of the series, pretentious suits her, so I have no problem with her sounding this pretentious. I was surprised. So Medaka's voice is fine. Shiranui's voice is by Hilary Hagg, who I know has done a shit ton of other stuff, because I've heard her voice before, but her voice fits Shiranui perfectly, so I have no problem with her. Zenkichi is voiced by Andrew Love, though. Now, if you don't know who Andrew Love is a competent voice actor, is a good voice actor. He does not suck as a voice actor. I need to repeat that because what I'm about to say, it may piss off Andrew Love fans if anyone cares. Now, the only anime I innately remember him in is Needless. And granted, I don't like Needless, but he did do Blade's voice well. I liked his Blade voice. The problem is that Andrew Love has a deep ass voice. So to hear Andrew Love's voice come out of Zenkichi's mouth is kind of fucking annoying. Why? Because Zenkichi is only what, 15, 16, and he sounds like he's 30. This is one of the rare situations where this is usually how I am with voice actors. I usually don't hate their acting skills. I usually hate the voice, like tone, like pitch. Like, I think it's too high or too low. Like, what is it? Stocking's voice in Penny and Stocking, who does a lot of voice acting work for Funimation. She has good voice acting skills. I just don't like the pitch of her voice. It's the same problem here. It's like, I don't hate Andrew Love's fucking voice acting skills, but his pitch of the voice is so goddamn distracting. And it also shows that his range isn't that good. Like, when Zenkichi's doing his analytical scenes, or his, like, being kind of a stubborn dick scenes, he's fine. But when he's doing his embarrassed or shy scenes, like the scene he has at the end of the first episode, it becomes apparent that Andrew Love isn't used to playing characters like that, which is painfully obvious just by the pitch of his voice. It's not like it's bad. I think he's well voice acted. It's just fucking, that pitch is so goddamn distracting. That's my thing. But we did today get the announcement of the two other Akune and Kikajima's voice actors, which are Tyler Galindo. I'm probably fucking that up. Which is the only voice actor on here who has like the least amount of fucking work. He's only been like a main character in 2 animes, and I think at the most he's only voice acted for like 3 or 4 shows, like 5. Like I think about 5 shows I saw on this Anime News Network like wiki page, information page, and he's only mained in 2 of them, and that's including Medaka Box as Akune. The other show is like this 3 Musketeers type show. I think it's called like the Cavalier of De Leon. Let me look him up real quick and then fucking see if I can find it. Honestly, I shouldn't be doing this in the middle of the video, but it bothers me. Now, granted, I haven't actually seen anything he's specifically been in, but I did go and look up a few clips that Funimation had up of the series where he was a main in, and he doesn't sound bad at all, and I can see his voice working. Yeah, it's called The Chevalier of Daon, which is a Funimation release. The other 2, I see him in Chrono Crusade, but he's only in like 3 episodes in that series, and then something called A Tree of Pomei, which I think is a movie. Don't know where that's from though. This is besides the point. His voice in the 3 Musketeers type anime was fine. So I can see him playing Akune. And then Kikajima is voiced by Maggie Fleckno. Fleckno? Yeah, Fleckno. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Who most people would know as Saya from High School of the Dead. That's her. Which, if I'm taking that tone of voice, that will work for her like dick scenes like that she is in her introduction. Whether that works for her girly scenes, I think it can. And she has enough shit under her belt, so it's not like she's incompetent. I can see it working, but then again, I do remember when I reviewed it, and I went back and looked at my old review. The one things I did complain about is that Saya sounds off, but that's Saya playing a zombie, but that's a zombie-based anime, whereas Kikajima, she's just playing a dickish swim girl, like a dickish swimmer who likes money. I think she'll be fine. I don't really have a problem. And then obviously they list like a whole bunch of background characters. Granted, we don't know who any of these people are going to be playing. They just say with. But we know Brittany Karbowski is in here, Monica Rial, which I think is actually the chick who plays, which is the girl I was talking about earlier, who plays like Stocking. Lucy Christian. Greg Ayres is in this. I can't think of any character. He's probably playing background characters. Those are the only ones I recognize off the top of my head. I'm not really well versed in anime dubs, so there might be some other big names in here, but off the top of my head, these are the ones I recognize off the bat. So overall, I don't like the first episode in itself wasn't bad. It has that problem with being a Sentai dub. Some of the background characters sounded like shit, which becomes really which kind of takes away from the experience in a sense. Zenkichi's voice is pitched too fucking low. I'm sorry, you should have got. And it pissed me off. There are characters playing students in the first episode who have better voices in terms of pitch that would have fit Zenkichi, which annoys the crap out of me. Actually, I think like the dickish Kendo guy, I think had a good voice that could have fit Zenkichi a little. I'm just saying, like, the pitches annoys me, man. See, the first video I was ranting and raving, but like I already know the Japanese version is gonna be better. Just because it's not gonna be. I'll put it this way. Remember how I said Mysterious Girlfriend X was pretty close in between, like which one I preferred, the English or the Japanese? It was pretty close because Josh Greeley and the main girl for Urabe were really good, which kind of made me forgive some of the background characters. Plus that because a lot of the anime doesn't focus on background characters. Unfortunately, Medaka Box has the painful privilege of having a lot of its episodes deal with a lot of different types of background characters or like secondary minor characters. So if you fuck up their voices, it's gonna be kind of annoying to watch. But we'll see how it goes overall. But that's just my thoughts on the dub. I don't think it's gonna be shit, but I can see a lot of people having problems with it. Now, granted, it could turn into Kids on the Slope, where I kind of got used to it by the end of it, which I did. I did get used to it by the end of it, but it was still apparent enough. I think it took me until like episode 8 to get used to it, which is kind of like, no, it took me up until like halfway through the series. So if it's the same thing from Medaka Box, we'll see. Also, I'm curious out of all these characters out of all these voice actors they listed, who's playing Uzin. I think Uzin was one of the characters I really wanted to see who they got to play him, because he's a 10-year-old. He's an evil genius 10-year-old that I love. Seriously, Uzin's my boy. So I'm curious of who of this list is actually playing him. I'm pretty sure Monica Rial is playing that little, like, one of the Discipline Squad, the character we meet first who always complains about fucking the clothing violation, which was kind of obvious. That was really obvious, actually. I didn't, like, that was a telegraph punch, man. You swung before I even got out the fucking corner. Let me make sure Monica Rial is who I'm thinking of who does that. I think she is, but I'm just looking. Oh, wait, I might be thinking of someone completely different. Yep, I am. Wait, no, that was the staff. She's casting. Let me make sure, because I think I might be talking out of my ass. No, Monica Rial is who I was thinking of. Okay, at least I know my shit somewhat. Anyways. So yeah, we got that's my thoughts. So please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I'll link it so you guys can go watch it. It's free, so it's not like you gotta pay for anything. And sorry this video dragged out for fucking 17 minutes. If you finished it all, right, Zengachi is too deep. Zengachi deep, nigga, deep! It's like, right, Zengachi equals Eddie Long. Anyways, this has been the vlogs again from your boy Terrell. I got some homework and stuff I need to do. So I'll catch you guys later. Peace-o. Medaka-chan! Which, by the way, didn't even bother me. Just saying.